Penny's 2 cents. It's your girl Penny, and this is my awesome dad,
George.
Guys, today I did a home-cooked meal for us and for you, okay? It is stuffed spaghetti squash, okay? It's stuffed with some great things. I'm going to put a little video in here of the ingredients and some preparation, okay? So please watch that, and please come back and watch us try these and see if we like them or not, okay? So, enjoy! Okay, guys, as you all know, me and Dad do all these food reviews, right? Fast food and eat all kinds of crazy stuff, right? And I've told a lot of you that we try to incorporate better food eating at home, you know, to kind of balance out the fast food and the fried foods and stuff. So I figured I'd share this recipe with you. Now, this is my first time making this exact recipe. I've done others before, but different variations, okay? So I wanted to try this variation. So it is called stuffed squash. Stuffed spaghetti squash, to be exact. Stuffed spaghetti squash. So I'm going to show you all the ingredients I plan on using today. And I'm going to talk you through some of the steps. I might be able to show you some filming of it. Like I said, I'm the only person to film and do all that and cook, so it's hard to hold a camera and, you know, film. So, but we'll see what we get here, okay? So anyway, me and Dad's gonna try this recipe out, so watch after this to see if we like it or not, okay? So anyway, get yourself a spaghetti squash, okay? Get a spaghetti squash, and you're gonna need some sort of protein, some sort of meat. I'm using hot Italian ground sausage. You can use sweet Italian. You can use rotisserie chicken, but today I'm going with hot sausage, Italian sausage, okay, ground. And then all the seasonings that you like, okay, onion powder, garlic powder. I use a lot of seasoning salt, so I got the Lowry seasoning salt, of course. And since we're doing Italian sausage, I'm gonna use I have some Italian seasoning that I bought like at a craft show. This was made, you know, by somebody, not a company, well, a private company, a person, right? So I got some Italian seasoning, got some black pepper, and got my olive oil. Those things are all my seasonings. You use whatever seasoning you want, okay, in this. And some grape tomatoes. Grape tomatoes and mozzarella cheese. And I got Boursin, garlic, and fine herb, guys. This is going in this. Now, like I said, I wanted to show you this because you could toss this up. If you don't like a sausage, you can use rotisserie chicken. You don't have to use any meat at all if you don't really want to. You can just do cheese and vegetables, you know what I mean? So what's going to happen is I'm going to cut this puppy in half, longwise, okay? There's seeds in the middle. I'm going to clean them out. I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil on the inside of this because it's going to be two halves, okay? And that's what we're eating out of. We're eating out of this thing, okay? So I'm cutting this in half, putting olive oil on it, and putting some seasonings on the open half, okay? And then I'm gonna roast this thing. 400 degrees, about 30-40 minutes until it's fork tender, till I can get the fork in the flesh of the spaghetti squash and able to pull it apart. If you've never had spaghetti squash before, it's got like strands in it, almost like pasta. So this is kind of how we're treating this, okay? Instead of pasta, we're using spaghetti squash. So I'm going to roast this until it's fork tender, okay? While that's roasting, in a skillet, I am going to brown off this Italian sausage. And I'm going to throw some seasonings in with it, some of my Italian seasoning, some onion powder, garlic powder in with this as I'm browning it off in the skillet, okay? And then after that, when this thing is done roasted, I am going to cut this Boursin in half. It comes in a circle, right? I'm going to cut it in half and put half of it in one side of the spaghetti squash and half in the other side. Then I'm going to take some of these grape tomatoes. I'm going to cut them in half and put that, on top of the cheese. And I'm going to stick it back in the oven, okay? I'm going to stick it back in the oven for a few minutes to let these tomatoes get kind of roasty and toasty, okay? Then I'm going to pull it out, and then I'm going to put my brown sausage on top of my cheese and tomatoes, and I'm going to sprinkle some of this mozzarella cheese on it, okay? And then I'm popping it back in the oven 10 minutes or so, just to make sure it's all melty, gooey, and all that, okay? So that is what's happening with this. Like I said, I'm going to try to film a little bit of that process. I'm a one-person crew as far as camera-wise and trying to, cook. Somebody tell me. I do have a contraption that will hold my phone and stuff, but it's a process, guys. So stick with me. Let's see what we get here. Let's see if me and Dad really like this meal and if we recommend it or not. Okay? So stick with us. Let's find out. I'll be right back. Okay, guys. I'm gonna pop this ground hot Italian sausage in this pan here and brown it up. As I'm doing that, I'm heating up my stove and everything, or my oven, for, oh man. Ay, ay, ay. Get the sausage out of here. I'm heating up the oven for my squash to be cooked, guys. That's what's happening. And I'm pretty sure all of you know how to do this. Just brown up the sausage, break it up. And guys, I'm not using any measurements of anything, okay? I'm just measuring with my heart. So, this is a pound of ground sausage. You could use as much or as little of it as you want. And same way with my seasoning. I'm going with my heart on the seasonings. I'm dumping it in, whatever feels right, that's what's happening. I'm going to let this brown up. I'm going to get this pretty chopped up pretty good. I don't want like big, humongous bites of sausage. Get this chopped up really good. Let it get all browned up. So there's no red left, no pink. About 3/4 of the way brown. I'm going to throw in some black pepper, guys. Plain black pepper. Like I said, you can use whatever seasonings you want. Dad's big on black pepper. I'm going to put some in this process here. I'm not going to go too crazy. Making sure it's coming out here yet. Throw some black pepper in there. I'm going to put some of these minced onions in there to give it a little extra flavor. And like I said, I have some Italian seasoning. You can use whatever Italian seasoning if you want, if you're trying to follow this. I'm not going to go too crazy because I'm going to put some of this on the squash as well. But there's some Italian seasoning in there. Get this all browned up, chopped up. There's not a whole lot of fat to this, so we don't have to do any fat draining, it don't look like. Smells really, really good, guys. Let us know, do you think you would try this recipe after you see us taste test it? As you can see, guys, it's pretty much already browned up. I got it chopped up pretty good. There's not too many big pieces in here, so. Okay, guys, I'm going to turn this puppy off. I'm just going to set it to the back of the stove and wait for my squash to be done. Okay, guys, I just took a knife, a big sharp butcher knife that I have, and I cut this in half. Now, these things are pretty solid, so you got to cut one of these in half, be very, very safe. Now, I've heard some tips to this. I heard if you can't get it cut in half, you can like poke it with a fork a little bit, stick it in the microwave for about a minute or so, and it'll soften it up a little bit and be easier to cut. but I was able to get through mine. So I'm going to take a spoon. You see there's seeds in here, right? I'm going to take a spoon, and I'm going to go above the garbage can, and I'm going to spoon out all of these seeds and stuff. Okay, guys, I spooned out all of the seeds. I'm sure you can see that. Now, I'm going to put some oil on these. Oil and seasoning. Okay, guys, like I said, spooned out all those seeds in the garbage. Now I'm going to take some extra virgin olive oil. Oh, didn't mean to go like that, but that's what's happening. I can't find my hand. I'm looking for my baster brush, guys. So I want this olive oil to be all around. Okay. Gotta do the other one just like that. This is before I even put it in the oven. This is getting ready to get roasted, so. Just oiling it up really good, going around the edges. Okay, that looks good to me. Now, like I said, I got some Lowry seasoning salt. I'm just seasoning this up, like I said, to how my heart feels, that's what I'm doing it. Okay, Lowry seasoning salt. I'm going to do a little extra black pepper. Like I said, Dad's a big pepper guy, so a little extra's not going to hurt. I also got some garlic powder here. I don't know if you guys can see there, not garlic powder. We like our garlic, so I'm not worried too much about not having enough of that. And I'm going to put some more of this Italian seasoning that I have, guys. You can use any brand that you have. This is what I got. Okay, so first off we got to get this squash, this spaghetti squash, close to fork tender, okay, right at fork tender. That way we can add all the other goodies to it, okay? So I'm popping it in the oven. I'm going to set a timer for about 30 minutes. I'll let you know for how long I actually go. Now if you have a bigger squash, it's going to take a little longer. So, like I said, 30 minutes I'm going to start off at. Okay guys, my squashes are only partially roasted. They've only been in for 30 minutes. They are somewhat tender. They still need to go a little longer, okay? But before I let them go a little longer, I'm going to show you this Boursin cheese. So I showed you the box earlier. They have different flavored Boursins. You can use whatever flavor you want. I decided the garlic herb one. This is how it comes. It comes like in a puck. You can see that. Okay, so I'm just cutting this thing in half. It's a soft cheese. And I'm cutting it kind of like in thirds or fourths or whatever here. What I'm going to do is plop it right down in there like that. Put some in the other one. Well, this will melt down and we'll mix it up and all that, but that's that. And then I got some grape tomatoes that I cut up here, sliced in half. I'm gonna put that right on top of this beautiful cheese here. Quite a few tomatoes, so I'm gonna try to pack some on here. I want these tomatoes to get nice and roasty. So get them on both halves. Well, that's about it. Okay guys, I'm popping this back in. First off, I'm gonna put a little more Italian seasoning right on top of these tomatoes. Okay, right on top. I'll do another little drizzle of olive oil if I can get it to drizzle here. Right on top of the tomatoes. Okay, I'm gonna pop this back in the oven for another 15-20 minutes. I kind of want these tomatoes to get a little roasty on top. So they're going back in, guys. Okay guys, it was in the oven on 450 for another 15 minutes to get these tomatoes roasted up and that cheese melted a little bit. Now I'm going to take a fork here, try not to burn my fingers, and kind of like mix this up a little bit. Like tear some of the squash and mix the tomatoes and the cheese. Let's see what happens here. Hopefully the camera won't move too much for you to see this. Ooh, it smells delicious. Man, it's hot. So I'm just tearing some of the squash away from the sides a little bit, just to mix this up. This is nice and cheesy, boy. I'm gonna do this to both of those, okay? And now I'm gonna put our sausage on here. A couple big spoonfuls of this sausage. Just like that. And then sprinkle of mozzarella on top. Just like that. And I'm going to do that to the other half. And then I'm going to stick this back in the oven on 400 degrees for like 10 minutes. Maybe even less. Just enough to get that cheese melted on top there. Okay, it's taste test time, Dad. I think it's cooled down enough. I think we're ready to go. So I took the other half of squash and scooped it out and put it in Dad's bowl. I figured it'd just be easier for him to navigate it, right? So be careful. Be careful on how big of a bite you're taking. I've let it cool down some, but...
So that.
Okay. I'm just going to dig in here, I guess. I don't even know where to start. You can eat it right out of the squash like this, guys. Or you could scoop it out and put it in a bowl like I did for Dad. Oh boy. Man. Okay guys, I know you've already watched the video, right? I've made something similar to this, but I've never made it with the sausage, okay? You can make the same thing, okay? You can use whatever cheeses you want and tomatoes, whatever cheeses and tomatoes you want when you put it inside there. But you could use rotisserie chicken. You could use canned chicken. You can use no meat at all. This would be good with like kielbasa sausage, sliced up, browned up, and then put in here. That would be good. I can think of so many things. Leftover roast beef, leftover pork roast, you could put in this, okay? That Boursin cheese in here is making it so creamy. It's like made its own sauce, you know what I mean? And... oh, man, what do you think, Dad?
Good.
They're really good?
Mm-hmm.
Dad's never, we'd had a discussion. I don't think Dad's ever had squash.
No, I never.
At least not like in this sense. I think he's had like zucchini and stuff like that. But I don't think he's ever had like a gourd squash like this. The fresh tomatoes in this is really good. Oh, delicious. How have I not tried this before? Oh my goodness. Now guys, this isn't my recipe. I've seen multiple people try this on their channels. One of them was Steph Pappas. She's the one that she has a food review channel or a mukbang channel, okay? And I've seen her do it, but I've also seen other people like on some of the cooking networks do something like this. Plus I looked through some of the recipes, you know, that are online and kind of made it my own. You know what I mean? But you could use any meat that you wanted in this, or no meat at all. It was absolutely delicious. I gotta ask Dad even before he finishes. Dad, would you want me to make this again?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. It's very good, guys. Try this out. Even if you think you don't like squash, okay? Even if you don't think you like squash, try this out. Because the cheese and stuff, the squash is almost like spaghetti. See it? The cheese and the meat and the stuff mixed with it, it's not giving like straight up vegetable. You know what I mean? It's just giving a very good base for this. The cheese and I can't even explain how good this is. It's nice and hot. Steam's coming off. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we used hot Italian sausage. Lately I've been a little sensitive to heat, but this is okay for me, you know, this is okay. I know Dad likes his little bit of a spice, but any regular sausage would work as well. Just plain old sweet Italian sausage would work, or mild would work for me. But I know Dad likes his spice, so.
It's very tasty.
Very tasty?
Very tasty.
I'm gonna give you another napkin. You got that one napkin all used up, I think. We always have a pile of napkins. I would definitely make this again. I wouldn't have really changed anything how I made it. I really wouldn't. Other than I would use other meats. You know, I would use whatever meat I had. You know, like I said, if I had some rotisserie chicken, I would use that instead of the sausage. To me, I feel like it needs a meat. But it doesn't really need a meat. I mean, especially if you like squash and stuff. But you really can't, like... If I didn't tell you that was squash, Dad, would you know that that was squash?
No, I would not have known that.
That's what I was wondering. We use garlic herb Boursin cheese. They got a caramelized onion one that would be delicious too, I bet, in this. Oh man. This is delicious. I can't say this enough, guys. Try this out. Try this out. Like I said, even if you think you don't like squash, try this out.
The tomatoes are good in there too.
Roasted tomatoes. I cut them in half and they're nice and blistered. I'm definitely gonna have leftovers. Dad's not, but I am. Oh my God. I would say this ranks up there. I hate to say this, man. It sounds so conceited. I think this ranks up there like one of the highest. How do I explain this? Of all the stuff I've made, this has the most flavor and the most excitement to it. I'd have to give this a perfect 10. Would you give this a perfect 10?
Oh, yeah.
It's good, guys. It is good, good, good. Absolutely delicious.
I don't know how I get that up.
You're getting it.
That sausage is good.
That sausage is really good in there, yeah. That garlic herb cheese, that Boursin in there is making it so... It's bringing the good flavor and it goes good with the tomatoes. Man. Man, I want to take another bite, but I'm getting so full. It's like it's stuck together.
It rolls off.
Well, yeah, like you get too much on your spoon and... Man. One more bite and I gotta call it quits. I hate to. That's how good it is. Guys, whenever you make a meal at home, okay, so I had to do all the video work and all that, and it put in the extra steps, right? But even if you're not doing like a video, you're just making a meal at home. After you get done cooking it, at the end of the cooking process and it's all done and you get sit down and eat, I'm talking about the person that cooked the whole meal, okay? Do you sometimes think, oh, I'm just so like exhausted, I don't want to eat right now? That's how I was at first, but once I took that first bite, I knew I wanted to eat because that's delicious. But do you ever get that way after you've cooked a meal and you got it all served at the table? Especially like Thanksgiving or Christmas or Easter, when you especially make a humongous meal. When you get it all on the table, you're like, oh, and you're just like, your appetite kind of goes away for a minute. I wonder what that is. I guess exhaustion, right? But I just wonder what that is. Because my mom used to do that a lot too. She would make some big humongous meal, well, she cooked every night. But she would make some meal, and me and Dad would sit down to eat, and she'd just be sitting there basically watching us until she, until she like rested for a second. Then she would eat. But I now know why she did that, because you get tired of in there cooking and cleaning and. Guys, I think this is a great alternative to if you want to have some sort of like a pasta dish and you're trying to watch your carbs or whatever. Using the spaghetti squash, I think it's a great alternative. It's very, very tasty in this. The squash itself's got a little sweetness to it. Like, yeah, it's got like a little sweetness to it. And I believe that hot sausage that we used, I think that combination, that little sweetness of the spaghetti squash and the hot sausage is a very, very good combination. Okay, we'll worry about cleaning it up in a little bit. So I can make this anytime, huh?
Yeah, anytime.
Anytime.
It was very good.
Did you enjoy it more than you thought you would?
It's squash. It surprised me.
Yeah. When I told Dad I was doing stuffed squash, he's like, He had preconceived notions that he didn't like squash, guys. This is the prime example. Sometimes you get it in your mind that you don't like something, right, Dad? Sometimes you don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's okay. Don't worry about it. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Sometimes you get it in your mind that you don't like something, and you try it, and then you get totally shocked that you liked it, don't you?
Yes, you're very much so.
Yeah. It's like a shocking experience because, like I said, it's so easy for somebody to say, "Oh, I don't like that," or even though you haven't had it, it's just so easy for somebody to say, "Oh, I don't like that," you know. But then you try something like this, and you're like, "Wow!"
If you eat plain, I think it makes difference in this plain, this squash. It's plain, but
when we added
all the riches.
Right, we added all the sauce.
zestiness.
Yeah, we added the sausage and the Italian seasoning, and the tomatoes. It just made it. It made it like. It made it like exciting, didn't it?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I thought I'd need some more salt.
Mm-hmm.
Then I said, boy, it tasted good.
Mm-hmm. And I only did like the salt level is coming from like all the seasoning and stuff, but it's really good. It doesn't need any extra salt or pepper or nothing, does it? So guys, like I said, please try this recipe. Even if you think you don't like squash, give this thing a whirl. It tastes very, very good. Sounds like me and Dad both give it a perfect 10. And we would make this again. I would like to make like a
very much like this again.
And I would like to do variations of it, maybe rotisserie chicken or something, you know. So, anyway, it's very.
I think she's right. I think anything would be good with this.
No, I think so too. I think we could practically just make up our own little thing. So anyway, I'm glad we tried this, guys. We're gonna let you guys go, I guess. We hope you all have a great lunch, a great dinner, or a great late night snack. But most of all, guys, we hope you have a great day.
A great day and a better tomorrow, and God bless you all.
Yes, guys. God bless. Come back tomorrow. See what we're eating. See what we're reviewing. See if we like it or not. Until tomorrow, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.